Hi, my name is Julianne, and today I'm going to be talking about the show that I recently watched called 3%. It's a Netflix show, so it's a Netflix original, but if you have Netflix, you should definitely watch it. Basically, in the show, it's a futuristic, kind of dystopian world where and it takes place in Brazil, and actually it's in Portuguese. So if you speak English, you could just watch it English dubbed or English subtitles, and I think they have a few other languages. The show takes place in Brazil, and you have the offshore and then the inland. So I think the inland is more like mainland, but in the show they call it inland. And then the offshore, obviously, it's this like island that's offshore, and the offshore is where all of the top of society live. And then the inland is where everyone who isn't an offshore person, they live on the inland and they live in absolute poverty. And I'm talking about like they don't really have any food. Their clothes, you'll see in the show if you watch it, is like their shirts, they don't have like one shirt on, they'll have like shirts that are like stitched together, and and it's just like absolute poverty. It's like living in the slums. So there is a chance to get out of the inland and make it to the offshore. And every year they take 3% of the 20-year-olds that are in the population, is what I believe is what it is. It's 3% of the 3% of the 20-year-olds that apply get through. So that's why it's called 3%. So the first round, it's all interviews. So all the 20-year-olds who want to apply, they'll take their interview, and if they make it through the interview, they can move on to the next stage. Now, obviously, not everyone gets to the interview, and they are looking for basically the offshore, they see themselves as better than the inland, so they're looking for the best of the best, and just whoever they think is better than everyone else is what it is, and they want only perfect people. I say perfect people, but anyone with a disability can still get through. Like, one of the characters is in a wheelchair, and so everyone's just kind of everyone thinks that he's not going to get through because he's in a wheelchair, but they do have the technology to make him walk again, and so there's some conflict and storyline around that, which I won't go into because it's interesting and I don't want to spoil anything. So the first round is an interview, and then after that you can take a test. There's going to be different tests that happen, and through that you'll be eliminated. Every episode someone gets eliminated, so it's you're losing characters as you go along, and it's kind of sad because some people you want to keep going. On top of having this process, which is what they call it, there is a resistance called the Cause that is happening on the inland, and they, obviously they're resisting against this whole process idea because they think it's unfair. There's a lot of inequality. They're saying the offshore, it's the best of the best, and then they're living in the slums, and if you don't make it through, you're just in poverty for the rest of your life, and so they think it's very unfair, and so they want to stop the process. And there may or may not be an infiltrator from the Cause in the process. I'm not going to say anything more on that. Overall, though, this show is amazing, very compelling. Every episode, it would end and I'd be I need to see the next thing. I need to see who gets through. I watched the entire season in one day. It was just that compelling and that good. And there's so many moments where I was on the edge of my seat. The characters were fantastic. I loved them and hated them at the same time. They were all so so complicated, so you couldn't completely hate someone and you couldn't completely love someone, because a character would do something that you don't agree with, and then you're oh, I don't really like you, but then find out some backstory on them, and then you're wait, actually I don't hate you as much as I thought. You're actually not that bad of a person. And they're all so very complicated and just awesome. And there's so many favorite characters for me, but my top three would probably be Michelle, Joanna, and Raphael. And Raphael, when you're watching it, and Joanna, you're you might, at the beginning, you're gonna probably not really like them that much, but trust me, they're not that bad. And Joanna might be my favorite. So yeah, I really like the characters, and I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. 3% on Netflix. It's amazing. You should go watch it if you have Netflix. And I'm gonna go and jump into some spoiler section because I need to talk about this show. So if you haven't yet watched it, goodbye. Alright, 3%. It was a crazy ride. Oh my god. I don't even know where to begin. First of all, Michelle and Raphael being part of the cause, did not see that coming at all. At all, okay? I did not. It never even once crossed my mind that it would be Michelle. Like, I thought it was gonna be somebody else. Like, I was thinking, oh, it's Joanna, and there was like a couple other characters where I was like, it's probably you guys. And then it's freaking Michelle this entire time. And then Raphael comes out and it's like, yeah, by the way, I'm in the cause too. And I was like, there's two of them? He cut out the tracker from his own brother and then he went into the whole process again. That was crazy. And then Michelle basically got her friend killed. So it's like, I want to like you, Michelle, but you also got your friend killed. And it's just, oh my god, it's so difficult. And even though it kind of happened fast, I kind of like her with, oh my god, I forgot his name. Fernando, that's his name. I kind of like them together. It was kind of cute. But then he got kicked out at the end. He was trumped by his own freaking test that he created. And it got me so worried because it was like I thought Michelle was gonna be dead or something, because like, you know, they found out that she was like with the cause, and it had me so worried, man. One of my favorite scenes, I think, has to be in that room with Joanna and all the other characters, and they were trying to figure out who should they eliminate. And so Joanna, you know, puts the coin back, and I'm like, she probably has that in her hand. I was so sure of it. And then at the end, she has the coin, and the guy is left behind, and he's like, oh my god, where's my coin? No! And he was like freaking out. And then Joanna comes out, and all the other contestants, or all the other candidates that were in the room look, and they see her, and they're very confused. And she holds up her freaking coin, and it's like, he didn't have a coin. And I was like, oh my god. And she was kind of a badass there, and I was just like, I love you, but you're kind of not a good person, but I still kind of love you, because like that moment was just perfect. I loved it so much. And that Raphael, he was a bit of an a-hole, let's be real. I mean, he cheated and he did all this stuff, and it's just like, he was with the cause, and both him and Michelle and I guess Joanna were doing bad things for what they believed to be right reasons, whether or not you personally believe what they did was right. And I kind of agree with some of the stuff they did to a degree, but I don't know, it's just very, very complicated, and the cause might not be the best because they lied to her about her brother, and he's actually alive and he's fine. They're talking about Michelle and her brother, and yeah, and then I'm still glad that Joanna decides to join the cause, but I wonder what's gonna happen with Fernando, and there better be a second season, by the way, because if there's not, there has to be another season. It just got so crazy, and I really want to see the offshore. I thought it was weird that they were like sterilized and stuff, because I was like, well, if they're the best of the best, wouldn't their children be the best of the best? But now that I think about it, I understand, like, one, that island or wherever would grow way too fast if they all had kids, and I think it's more like based off on who the character is, and not the character, but you know, like the character of the person. And I think they see it more as, if it's not based off of genes, it's based, you know, like, it's not like if your mom made it to the offshore, you're gonna make it to the offshore. It's based off of you and not on your family, even though there was that one guy where his family just had this history of making it to the offshore. And talking about him, let's discuss that room that they were in, where they all got locked into the room, and then they had to pull the levers and do all the stuff and get the food, and everyone passed. Everyone passes, right? And then the guy is like, nah, let's just change the rules. Let's not open the doors. What? And then because he did that, all those people died. And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I hate him, but I also kind of like don't hate him that much because of the kid. and like how he tries to take care of his kid, that his wife's kid, even though it's not his own, but still. And then his wife killed herself. Like, oh my god, let's not get into that right now. But they're in this like freaking room, and there's no food, and they're all going crazy, and they create this mob, and they're all trying to kill each other. And it's making me think of this series called the Quarantine series. You know, it's like freaking Lord of the Flies in there. It's crazy, and I just, oh my god, I can't. And then they take all of the wood from like under the beds and stuff, and they're like trying to tape down this like the hallway in their room, and they're getting ready to fight, and it's just so freaking, like, that was the episode where I was just like on the edge of my seat. I was like freaking out. Like, all these people are dying, and I knew someone, and of course it was Joanna, was gonna go up that vent or whatever. Like, that's, as soon as they opened it for the first time, I was like, oh yeah, someone's gonna climb up there. And Joanna did, and then she went back in. But yeah, and then all these people died, and this guy is just crawling to the door, and you're just like, he's not gonna make it, he's crawling, he's halfway through, and that door crushes him in, oh my god, I was in so much pain for him. I was just like cringing so badly, like, I'm like, oh my god, that had to hurt. I just, whew, yeah. And I also really want to talk about the camera angle, if that even made sense. You know, how it was filmed. I think it was filmed very beautifully, might I say. Like, I'm not into film or anything, but I did appreciate the way it was filmed, like how the camera would be focused on like a reflective piece, like not just like a mirror, but like, you know, like the walls were reflective so you could see people. So like it was focused on that, and then it was zoomed onto the, like, what I remember is like it was focused on two characters that you can see in the reflected wall, and then it moved over to them on the staircase, and I just thought that was a very interesting way of filming it. I also really liked how they showcased all the technology and the futuristic stuff that happened. It was very real and believable, and I just really liked it a lot. Joanna's story was very interesting. I really liked getting the backstory on her, and it was really sad. She didn't mean to kill a kid, but he was dead, and she just needed to get to the offshore so she wasn't going to get hunted down and killed. And then at the end of the day, she couldn't kill that one guy even though he was after her, and she was just like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not a killer. And she just walked away. I am very intrigued about season 2, and if anyone watching this has anything else to talk about, please put it in the comments so we can talk about this show. And just, oh my god, because like no one's watched it right now, and I'm just trying to get my friend into it right now, and it's so good and so much fun, and I freaking love this show so much. It's like one of my favorite shows, I think, of all time right now. Like, I'm still reeling over it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!